MPT ladies, you ready? Let's go. Welcome to today's episode of Melanin Pillow Talk. So guys, I really wanted to get your opinions on the pressure of getting married in an African home. And also, is marriage overrated in today's society? I mean, what do you guys think?
Well, I heard you say African home. I'm not African, I'm Caribbean, so I'm going to speak for the Caribbean people. But,
what part of Caribbean?
Oh, I'm from the Bahamas. Thank you for asking. But no, honestly, I know my household, it's not really a pressure for me to get married. Yeah, my mom, of course, would like me to be married before having kids and all that stuff, starting family. So yeah, I hear that a lot, being at the age of 33. When are you going to settle down? But it's definitely, I don't really feel that pressure to do it, but she would like for me to be married like soon. And I definitely don't think marriage is overrated because especially from like my faith, that's like a necessity. I'm going to be married before having kids.
Right.
Yeah. So like, I don't know. Like, what do you guys think about it?
I mean, me personally, coming from an African home,
yeah,
I think there's a little bit of pressure, especially. Well, I'm talking about myself.
Yeah.
At the age of 25, you kind of start feeling it. I mean, you kind of start feeling it. It's not really like excessive.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm not going to tell you guys how old I am now. I'm just saying, when I hit 25, it was, I mean, I could feel it. Because, you know, you go to all these African parties and you see these African aunties and they're like, oh, man, where's the guy? When are you bringing him home? When is the wedding? Like, you actually, you know, you hear people say that. And I don't want to say it's like pressure, but I kind of understand where they're coming from. Because for women, you kind of have like a biological clock.
Yeah.
And of course, like you want to get married, have kids and all of that. So I can understand where they're coming from, but sometimes I feel like they go so hard. Like,
you know, I feel like I hear that more in society from friends around me or from like people in church more than I do hear from my own family though. So yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'm more so because they want the best for you. They want you to be settled down, so I understand it. But at the same time, it's like, ooh, just keep me working on it.
To kind of piggyback on what you said, it's true because for me, it's more so, my mom is more like, you know, become financially stable, become independent. I want you to meet your man when you're stable so that, you know, you become an asset to him, you know? Right. So, and in between that, I mean, do the whole, like doing it the right way, going to college, you know, getting a job. But life is unpredictable.
Exactly.
So you can't really tell me like when I feel like, oh, I'm ready to
a good time to settle down.
It's a good time or now, you know, I have to, personally, I just feel like I have to kind of find myself, you know, and mentally, financially, all the illies, physically, emotionally, all of that before I become attached to someone, you know, and then we can settle down and then we can get married. But my mom pushes that more, but my dad, he's more so lenient. He's just like, you know, you're getting older. Exactly. You know, he's like beauty phase. Yeah, but shout out to them though. They don't really pressure me as much as like. Shout out to them. Some people have it hard. Some parents like, when you get married, I want my grandmother, I want my grandkids. No, my parents like, you know, get
every time you get on the phone, did you meet anyone yet?
Yeah, get yourself together, you know, and at the right time he's gonna come. Just make sure you're making the right decision because once you win, you in. Right. No more going back.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, for me, I don't get the pressure from my parents. But once in a while, when like your mother is praying for you, you see she's sliding in the prayers, like oh God, prayers. Yeah, but she doesn't like give me pressure, but I know like other friends that do go through that a lot. Like I knew about this guy. I finished uni with him, and I know this guy is not financially stable. And when I heard he was getting married, shout out to you. You know who you are. He was getting married. I was like,
so much shade.
Yeah. I was like, really? Are you sure? Like, you're ready? He's like, oh yeah. I'm like, you guys are not going to rent a place. You guys, like, are you sure? But like, you know, Ghana, like, you have to. Yeah. Especially even for the females, like, if you're not, you have to stay with your parents till you get married before you move out. Yeah. So yeah, the pressure is on.
For me personally, I've never felt the pressure to get married because I was raised in a single family home, and we moved to I'm Kenyan. We moved to the United States when I was like 11. So, and we weren't really around a lot of Kenyans. We were around a lot of Americans. So the way my mom raised me, she actually wanted to hold on to us. She was like, no, get married when you're 35. Like I wanted to have a boyfriend in college. She's still like, no, you don't need one. Just finish college. Yeah. But I think after I got to like a certain age, and even I had the desire to like finish school, get a job, be established before I have a husband. But things just happened, and I just met my husband at a certain time, and everything just fell in place at that time. That wasn't my desire. That probably wasn't my parents' desires either, even my dad being, you know, in another country. But it just happened the way it happened, and you just let things flow. But for me, I've never experienced like any kind of pressure from my parents when it comes to marriage, so thank God for that.
Have you guys actually realized this? I mean, I don't know about you guys, but while in school, your parents do not want you to date. Oh yeah. They don't want to hear anything about you have a boyfriend, you're going on a date. But then once you're done with school, they're like, where's the husband? Okay, well, you don't want me to date, but where's the husband coming from? So it's not like, I'm not supposed to have a boyfriend while I'm in school, but once I graduate, where's your husband?
Should be at the door.
Yeah,
at the door.
They expect you're gonna get your job in a month. That's like awesome, and then you're gonna meet him at your job or something. I don't know.
The first time I heard that, I was clueless. I'm like, well, I didn't date because you didn't want me to date while in school. So I mean, I'm not saying that. No, you didn't know. You didn't know that, but just questioning me like, where's your husband? True. I mean, to the best of your knowledge, I wasn't dating, so
I'm sure they knew, but it just like don't want to
keep overlooking it. Whatever.
They just overlook it. Yeah, like, you know.
And I think another pressure that our parents face is going to all of these parties, going to these African parties, just being around their friends, and you know, imagine. I don't want to use myself. Imagine your mom goes to like an African party and she sees like her friends she went to college with, or just her friends in general, and they have like all these grandkids. They have like, you know, their daughters are married, and your mom is sitting in the corner like.
And you know what? I think that's where the pressure comes in from society, because
other people
are pressuring, and so they don't want to be the only ones there. Like, oh yeah, my daughter's not married, she's not even in a relationship yet. You know what I'm saying? They want to be able to brag too, like, yeah, she got that ring.
And that's something in the like when we're talking about it, it's like the African culture. I don't know if Americans even deal with that as much. So
I think it's more of an African thing. Yeah, I don't think Americans, but I don't know. But
if you think about it, like our parents, African parents, they are not really concerned. To me, I feel like they're not really concerned about the marriage. It's more about the wedding and stuff. Because if you say, "Oh, I'm just going to the court to sign," they're gonna be like, "What?
You crazy?
Yeah,
it's not your wedding. We're all
because an African marriage is more of like a family thing. It's not just an individual. Like the whole party, the whole hoopla, like the whole thing.
But I think I agree with that. I know we're kind of going off topic, but I actually agree with a marriage being between a bunch of families.
Because you're uniting the family at the end of the day. That's supposed to be what you want. So to bring that together culturally, to celebrate that in one time, because you never know when that opportunity ever come around again.
That's true.
It's fine, but it looks like they don't really want like a mediocre kind of wedding. Like especially like African moms,
they need something to brag about.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like people put like so much money, have this lavish wedding, and it's like after the end of the day, you're gonna stay in like a 1-bedroom apartment. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
and that's another reason why, like, I feel like this pressure.
Seriously, no shade.
That's facts. That's facts. You spend so much. You're concerned more about the wedding than what happens after the wedding.
Because most, like, you know, like let's say the Western culture, like they'll save the money and try and get a house and stuff. But Africans were more concerned with the wedding, the party.
But the thing is, after you go through all that, the traditional wedding, the party, and everything that they do, before you get divorced, you're gonna think twice. You have to involve the whole.
Oh no! This is the thing. People divorce in like 2 months. They're like divorced.
They're gone.
No, I'm saying like literally like in the African culture. Like I don't know about everybody, but like even for the tribe that I come from, by the time like he comes to my place and the dowry is paid and all these things, before we want a divorce, we can't just decide we want a divorce because money has to be exchanged. There's a process that goes through it. You know, if you're having problems, your family will help you get through the problems. Versus if we go to the courthouse and it's just me and you, if we don't like each other, we just go divorce and we leave it and we're done.
We're not saying don't go to the courthouse, but
I'm just saying. But I mean, you can still go to the courthouse with your family. I mean, you can still have a little. People have like little thing like in your house, like just a little thing. But in the African community, they want like the lavish, you know, photography thing coming in, event planners and stuff like that. So yeah, those ones are like, you know, lavish and expensive.
But it's what you're exposed to, though.
Yeah.
I mean, if you go online, you see
that's the thing. Social media has made it.
Social media
that puts the pressure. What would you guys rather have personally? If you were to have a wedding, would you want something that's more like intimate and small, or would you want the?
I want a Hampton themed wedding, like my wedding. I already know it's planned out. Like it's going to be big. I don't even know that many people, but we gonna figure it out. It's not gonna be.
You know what? I'm not even gonna lie.
Don't lie.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna do it big because I'm suffering. I've been through a lot.
Hallelujah.
I have to fight.
Yes.
Right.
You deserve it.
I deserve it, and I think like I deserve it.
You deserve it.
And if I say I'm gonna do it big, I'm gonna do it big.
That's what I'm saying. If you waited this long to get to that point,
right? If I waited this long, I feel like it's a one day thing. One time. I mean, of course, I'm not trying to go in and come out. Like, if I'm doing it big. Yeah. I mean, my veil gonna be from here to right. But I feel like again, it depends on who you're getting married to.
Yeah.
I mean, I could sit here and say all of this. I mean, I could go on and on. I want a big wedding, blah 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 blah. But if I meet a man who is not into a lavish wedding, I mean, we'll have to compromise at a point.
Right.
So at the end of the day, this is what I want.
Yeah.
But
you have to consider him.
I have to consider him too.
But you can dream, hey.
You can dream.
Yeah.
So
but you would hope you have somebody who gives you kind of like, it's for the wedding, a lot of times it's for the woman. You would hope that the man is like, I want to make you as happy as possible.
Right.
But most times maybe the man is thinking more of finances.
Exactly.
So you have to be like realistic. Like you said, you don't want to be having this huge thing and you can't pay bills.
Yeah. Because some people are in debt, like just from having a wedding. And it's sad because you go through all of this and you have all these people who come to celebrate with you. I'm talking about aunties who are giving you pressure from the village. Everybody flies down to the wedding. And you spend all of this money. You're in debt. Once you're done with the wedding and you get to your husband's house, that's it. You can't go back to your uncle and be like, can you loan me? Can you loan me $5,000? I need to pay off the cake, like the caterer for the. Exactly. You can't do all of that. So
that's why I feel about the courthouse thing. There's nothing wrong with doing a courthouse until you can save up to have that, and no one even needs to know that you did the courthouse. That's between you two until you can't have this big lavish wedding.
Yeah,
you know? I'm going to have this wedding.
I'm leaning towards like traditional
I've been
wedding.
dreaming about this.
I don't mean like the white wedding veil. I just want the traditional. I mean, it can be big, but just a traditional wedding. I don't want both, like Friday, Saturday. No, I don't want that. I just want
it's about bachelorette. You're talking about
engagement party.
Engagement. And you know, in an African family, engagement party is not what the traditional engagement we do in America. This is a whole event.
The whole neighborhood.
So you're doing all of these things, like it's a lot. I mean,
and you barely get any present. That's for you. They're just coming to eat. You barely get any present.
That's true.
You guys, we've kind of been talking about a lot of things, but we didn't answer or get into the second question that we asked about: is marriage overrated? So how do you feel? You know, based on us living in the United States, but we have a background of African and Caribbean. So what's your views on that?
Me personally, it's 50-50. And I'm saying 50-50 because I'm leaning towards the social media side.
Yes.
So 50-50 social media side, because I mean, there's no weekend that goes by that I don't see a whole bunch of, you know, weddings and okay, I did this, like throwing it in your face. Right. I spent this, I spent that. And it's kind of like, I feel like certain things just need to be private because some people are going to live up to it. Even though they don't have it, they're going to do whatever it takes just to have a similar wedding, right? Or just to try to be like so blah 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 blah. And that is where I kind of feel like it's overrated because I could show you anything I want to show you on social media.
Social media is your highlight reel.
Exactly.
Yeah. So they're probably not happy. They fighting right after they get off there. Yeah.
So folks can act like they're happy, they're all excited, whatever. But in real life, that is not the situation.
Right.
They could be like really sad. I mean, it could be an arranged marriage. They're not even interested in the person. And it's kind of like, oh, let me just marry this person because they're rich.
Right.
At the end of the day, you go home at night and you're crying on your pillow.
Right.
So, right. Yeah. So, I mean, I feel like it's 50-50. I mean,
it's because people are chasing like this social media thing.
Exactly.
They want a husband,
this
and then they get married and they live with a person for 6 months, and they're like, "This is not what it looked like, so let's get divorced." You know what I'm saying? So I don't think that marriage in itself is overrated, but people's view, like people really need to change their views and really know, why do I want to get married? Am I going in it for the right reasons? Am I willing to what they say, for better or for worse? You know, why are you? What's your reason for getting married?
I think it kind of stems down to finding yourself as an individual. I read this quote somewhere that said that you should like date yourself or enjoy your single moment. Yeah. So whatever lesson it is or whatever healing it is that you have to do before you become attached to someone else, whilst they're also fixing themselves, you know. But in our generation right now, that doesn't happen. You have people literally move from one relationship to the next without really dating themselves what they like. And then let's say, you know, God loves you so much, you meet the like the person that your soulmate. Right. And now because you didn't heal during your singleness, and he probably didn't heal. You guys, even though you're made for each other, you become toxic together. You're not where you ought to be. So
because you're depending on that person
to make you happy. Exactly. And it all stems down to self-love during whatever single period it is. You know, I think every woman should just take some time out, like after dating for like a long period of time, just take some time out for yourself, maybe a year, 6 months, however, and just date yourself, go like do things by yourself to see, am I happy on my own before expecting someone else to come and become attached to me. So I can never say marriage is like overrated because I've seen people who have waited and they flourish. It is beautiful, and I'm just sitting in the back like, I want that. That's me.
That's what you just said. People who waited. There are a lot of people because the older you get, and you know, the more you have time to know yourself. Especially if you're intentional about getting to know yourself, you know what you want. Right. You go in it from the beginning, know what you want. Even if you're like on that fourth or fifth date, you be like, okay, well, this isn't it. True. And then you can be in that fourth or fifth date and be like, okay, this is my husband. Because you know what you want, because you know yourself, and you're whole at that time. So that's very important because I was in a relationship at one point that because I hadn't dated in so long, I didn't even realize I needed to heal. And there's so many things from your childhood that plays a big part of who you are. And you don't even know, like, sometimes those mindsets are toxic. And it's like, sometimes you get in certain relationships or with certain people and you realize, oh my God, I'm becoming... You're crazy. You don't even know you're crazy. It takes being in a relationship to know you're crazy. And you're like, okay, wait a minute. Okay, first let me get out of this and let me work on me first. So when that person does come, I am ready the next go around.
That's definitely true.
Yeah. I mean, again, marriage itself is not overrated. I think it's the event, like the social media. That is what is overrated. But the marriage itself is good. It's not overrated.
Have you seen some of these pictures though?
Oh my God!
One that I saw, they were like on a moving train, and the man. Like, I don't know whether they were married or not, but I was just like, this is crazy. Even if you were my boyfriend, I would slap you. Like, so it's open with no gate. It's one of those, like, you know, in the rural areas where the trees are not, you know what I'm saying? The open space, the open ones where people jump out and jump. Yes, they were like the lady was holding on with her front facing him, and he was facing her, and like the train is moving, and it's like you see the greenery, like it looks dangerous.
What's happening in the train? What's happening in the train?
Maybe it was like
the pictures. Social media pictures. Yeah. Nothing. They were like, it was dangerous.
People just do the most, like too much for social media.
Can I just add, and this is why I want to say, like, you guys, everybody said the type of weddings they wanted. I want a really small wedding, surprisingly.
Do you?
I want an intimate, yes.
I want to see you.
Yes, I know. My parents want a lot of
people.
people, but for I think maybe the traditional, it could be for them.
Okay, so the white wedding. Okay.
And my white wedding is going to be very intimate, because I've been to one, and it was just the energy in there.
Right.
Everybody had a great time. I went to this wedding with no makeup on. Exactly. That's the type of fun I had.
Wow.
So you wouldn't wear makeup? But you didn't know going into the wedding you were going to have that much fun.
I didn't know for my wedding.
Oh, okay.
Like, the type of energy that was at this intimate wedding, rather than, a huge wedding.
You don't know most of
exactly, and people don't even wish you well these days. So I want people.
They're just coming to look. Oh, I'm not this wedding gown.
It's nicer. It's nicer.
Go there. Yeah.
No, it's nicer. Like
the smaller wedding.
Yeah, because you know everyone there loves you and really want the best for you. Yeah.
And if it's intimate, like
I can't get that aspect of it. I mean, I don't even know that many people anywhere to say I want this big lavish wedding, but that's
Honestly, like I'm kind of just glad I'm done with that phase, because for me it was like super stressful.
Well, you're married.
Yeah, it was super stressful. And the thing is, I got married in Nigeria, so my family, I only had like maybe like a handful of actual family members. Everybody was like on his side. So for me, I didn't feel like it was my wedding. I actually want to have a renewal of vows one day again, where it's like my dream. Even though it was a beautiful wedding and people complimented it, but it was like, it was too much. It's like you're doing everything for like everybody. I thank God for it, but
I have a question.
I'm glad I'm done.
Who do you guys feel gets pressured more, the women or the men?
Definitely the women.
Do you feel like the women get pressured more?
Like pressure to get married?
To get married, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I think it's the women, but I've seen in African culture though, the man, when he starts to clock like 30, they're like, yo.
Like, what's wrong with you? Why are you not married?
Wrong with you. Like, why are you still single?
I feel like
not in the American culture though, but women get
more pressure.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think women put the pressure on themselves.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Women women get the pressure even from just watching the social media. You're looking at people's pictures, you're like, oh god, I want to be. So we are already pressurizing ourselves.
But also the biological clock.
Right.
You get pressure because it's not just a marriage, but also are you young enough to produce these kids?
Yeah, but times have changed now.
Times have changed now. Like you can have a baby and then get married later.
It's so advanced now.
You can still do that, but do you want to do that? Me personally,
especially
I'm not
an
trying
African
to. Yeah.
I mean, just think about it. You know how these African parents are. I could not have a baby out of wedlock.
It would be so much shame.
Not in this house.
Yeah.
I could not do it.
No.
Because I can't.
And most people, if they do happen to get pregnant before, the wedding is 2 months later.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Because they want you to be married by the time that baby is coming.
Because I kind of feel like it's like a shame. Like you're bringing this shame to the family. Even though you're pregnant and you're bringing life and it's a beautiful thing, it's just the whole like circumstance, like everything around you having a baby. They look at it as like, oh, this girl is bringing shame to the family. She didn't get married. She had a baby out of wedlock. Yeah. So
so we just make sure we just get that ring and marry.
Exactly. The ring first.
And that's just when it comes to culture. It's just
culture, and then with their faith, a spiritual thing.
Exactly.
Like me, let's see, speak on the family. My older sister, she's the one who has the kids in the family. She's now married or whatever, but she had babies and it was fine. But me personally, I would want to be married before having children, just based on my faith. Because it's always a probability of anything going wrong in life and you know separating. But I'm gonna need me a husband before I have kids. It's hard out here in the streets. It's hard. Why do you even want to do it by yourself? Like I'm gonna need me a husband.
It really is hard. Oh my god.
Just watching.
Like especially when we have car issues, you be like, damn, I wish I had a man. Like somebody to take.
I was gonna say somebody to know. I'm like, that's
how it is hard.
I used to have to pump.
Dude,
I don't have to pump no more.
I just want to drive the car. It's such an inconvenience to have to stop and get gas. I need you to know when we're dating. Like, I need you to pump this gas. I hate pumping gas. You don't understand. Stopping at a gas station.
The only thing I hear about cars is putting air in the tires.
Oh,
it's like you see some of the men and like, you're really not gonna help me? Like seriously, you're gonna let me go down?
Are we gonna talk about chivalry? Because listen,
that's a different day. That's a different topic for a different day.
Like you asked, is that the most?
I know it's hot out here, but when I feel it the most is when I see people going on dates. Like you see people whining and dining, like their
wedding.
Like it's just I'll be looking on my phone like
there's certain seasons too.
Right, like who's
when it starts getting
cold. You see me in my mind, I feel like these are all just fronts, like just Instagram thing. I'm like, these people are probably suffering. Probably this girl is paying for this. Like, so that's what I put in my mind. So it's like
to make yourself feel better.
This girl is paying for this drink.
I need to start thinking that way. I need to start thinking that way. That's really emotional.
No, but it's something you really have to be ready for within yourself. Because even when you prepare yourself, when you get into it, it's still like kind of a slap in the face. You're like, is it this difficult? And it gets better with time. Like for me personally, it's gotten better with time. But I know when I first got married, you're like, okay, this is not what I expected.
I think it's because sorry, are you like?
No,
I think it's more so because you guys have known each other now, like over like time, maybe 3-4 years.
Yeah.
You know the ins and outs because you've lived with them.
Yeah.
Now you're going. It's like when you first meet, it's just like, oh my god, like can you even breathe my air? Like I don't need you in my space.
Right.
So I think
because it's like when you're single. Like I know when I was single, I was like, oh, I'm pretty perfect. Like. Ain't no wrong with me. I know you're not perfect. You need to change here. Yeah. So you either change and become better, or y'all gonna be fighting.
And it's hard to deal with to look at yourself from that point of view. But it's like it's the best thing though once you realize, and you grow from that. It's the best thing.
The growing pains are not fun, but when you get on the other side, you're like, I love myself even more. You just get better and better. And I haven't been married long, so I can't even wait for like. When I'm married 10 years and 15 years, like how I'll grow. It's a growth.
And I think like with what Amma said, like finding yourself and all of that. Because I've met people who just want to date, other people just so they're not lonely. Just so they feel like they could find their happiness from somebody else. Yeah. And actually you're going to be really sad because I really don't think another person can make you happy.
No.
I feel like you need to be happy, he needs to be happy, both of you come together and it's like bliss.
Just on top.
Right. So when it comes to marriage right now, I'm not pressured. It's kind of like I'm numb to it. Like even when I hear like my mom or my auntie or whatever, they're like, oh, where's the guy, whatever. I'm just like, he's coming.
He's somewhere.
Like, right. Like, it's not like I'm numb to it. Now, I am numb to it. But, of course, like, years ago, it was kind of difficult. But now it's like, okay, whenever it happens, it happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. And sometimes...
go ahead. No, go ahead.
Sometimes, some of these guys, too, now they know that, like, we're feeling the pressure, so now they're trying to use that to get you.
Let me tell you. Let me tell you. I've been single for years. I just decided to start dating this year because I want to have children, and that's why I decided to start dating. But I don't feel pressured. You know what I'm saying? And you're not going to make me feel like I'm not going to be desperate for nobody. But let me tell you, I still have my standards and I still know what I want and don't want. And if you're not it, you can keep moving. You know what I'm saying? But I refuse to let society, men, women, family, friends, someone I'm dating make me feel like I have to, choose them and I have to settle.
Like you have other options.
There's always an option.
Yeah.
There is. It might take a while for you to find.
It might take a while, but there's always an option.
Yeah. Because I remember there's this guy. You know who you are. Hi.
Shout out to you.
And we just started talking, and then he started with, my mom is not feeling so good, and I want to get married. Like in my mind, I'm like, oh, so you really think saying that to me, like in our first thing, it's just gonna get me like, oh, I really want to get married. My mom is giving me the pressure, so I want to get married. So he's thinking like, oh, talking to me, saying that I'm like, oh, this guy want to get married. So I was like, okay, but I'm not ready. Like, I'm not.
Right.
Like, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Or maybe
So sometimes these guys, like, they feel like they can. Some of them can just say that, make you feel like, oh, I'm coming to do knocking, and they say all that, and they will never come, and then just to waste your time. So yeah,
I think. Oh, I'm sorry, but I think that's when, like, you gotta pray to God for discernment. Yeah,
some of these
obstacles out here. Some of these obstacles out here, man, you need serious divine prayers to really knock them down. Like, and
they will waste.
Yeah, they really will waste your time. You know, I used to watch this video of this lady, and she always talk about how she's giving herself, like, she's over 30, so she's giving herself a time frame of how long she's gonna date you to, I guess, assess whatever it is that you like, whatever you come with, and then after you meet, like, after you guys get to that maybe 1 year mark, and she doesn't see you're not moving towards anywhere. She's like,
one with this, that men know right away when they're meeting a woman, whether it's in a week or a month or two. It's not. It doesn't take a year for them to figure out if they can see you as their wife.
I would say
I feel like
I'm not going to
generalize. I'm not saying like the younger ones. I'm saying the more older and more mature. I'm saying the type of
Have you
men
seen
I
a
would
really
be dating.
mature, immature guy before?
No,
yeah,
it's not all. Not speaking of all men, because we know.
Because you said mature, so I'm trying to say, like, there's some mature, immature guys.
No, not them that 50 and
mature.
The ones who literally are like, you know what? I want to settle down. Yeah. Their thing is like, I want to settle down. And they're ready. I want to settle down. I'm looking for a wife. I just can't find her nowhere. I keep looking and I can't find her. I want kids soon.
I know.
And then the moment they find that person, they see that person, they're like, this is what I've been looking for. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about them others over there.
No. That's what I'm talking about. She articulated that well, yes.
But this world is too big, and there's always so many gray areas. It's not black and white.
Yeah.
Nothing is ever black and white, but
especially in this generation. I mean, I kind of feel like in this generation, we don't have time. Like, you mess up, we're moving. Like,
nobody got time.
That's what I'm saying. Nobody got time to be sitting there playing games with you. And I feel like, especially in this generation, it's kind of like when somebody's trying to run game on you. Like, people are more matured now. People are, like, it's kind of like you've seen experiences, you've heard people's stories. I mean, it's kind of like, okay, you messing up. Okay, I'll see you next time.
And we hope you have brains.
Okay, you can't do this anymore. Okay, I'll talk to you later.
Next. But you would hope they're like that. There's some who literally like just stay. You have the side that's good, like where you're like, okay, you want to mess with me, bye. And then you have the ones who are like, I don't think I can get anything else, so I'm just gonna stay here.
So that's what is it called? Insecurity that you have to work on.
Yeah.
Because if you're in a relationship and you're like, okay, he doesn't have the qualities, or he's not doing what I want him to do, or I don't see this relationship going anywhere, and you still sitting there wasting all your youthful years. I mean,
that's not wrong with you.
You need to figure out what's going on with you. I mean,
it's sad to say, but most women are like that, especially like in this day and time. And then us, we are here.
And this also because of the pressures of society. They feel like they want someone, and the longer they hold on to that person, it gets closer to them, and maybe this will be it. Maybe he'll finally ask me to marry him.
Because this culture we're living in, like, we're in these ATL streets where it's like it'd be
ATL streets.
You got one woman to, what do they say?
The ratio
is on a different level.
22.
So we fighting for these men, and these
one man.
Yeah, so it's hard out here in the streets. So you have to really be confident and be like, you know what? I know when my time comes, and when my man comes, I know what I deserve.
Yeah.
A lot of people, as soon as he comes, if he looks like a man and maybe
like a man,
that's it.
That's my man. That's him.
Hey guys, thank you for watching today's episode. Do not forget to turn on your notification bell to be notified when we upload our next video.